Okay, guys. Let's speak intelligently. Okay. Well, I'm going to speak intelligently. You listen. Okay. Separation of church and state. Okay. How can you have a state without a church? Okay. If you have no uh, eternal understanding of natural laws and the values in order to maintain life through obeying these natural laws, how can you have a state? So you cannot separate church from state. You're just talking about people that believe in mythology and murder each other over mythology and then turn it into a movement of people doing it that call it an organization or a corporation. Okay, so, but as far as church and state, in order to be stately and establish, a state of being that is moral and just and beautiful and strong, you need church. Okay, so you cannot separate church and state. Okay, that's not feasible since church is faith in omnipotent existence, omnipotent essence of existence and an eternal existence through this omnipotent essence. That's church. So how can you have a state of being that functions properly without church? Right? Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. One of the mother of his children, he owned his both of them, he owned his property. Yeah, back in his time, even the white lady that died before Sally Hemings was his property. They're dowered to them. So that was church and state. That was back then. And now listening to you people on TV, about the fraud of the Somalis and they're just attacking the Somali community. Just be a religious person and be in a state of being that is not fraudulent to the laws of your existence. Do you understand? Okay. I'm not more intelligent than Jiddu Krishnamurti. I'm not more intelligent than Haile Selassie or D.T. Suzuki or Sun Yat-sen. This is just a radically different time as far as the technology that they use to manipulate with psychotic abuse. And then, you're labeling, well, you have to be able to describe somebody. You use words to describe people. So a sociopath, a psychotic, a pathological liar, okay, a murderer, okay. I have to describe the people that I'm dealing with to people that are being abused by them that feel like, okay, they're going to keep us safe with our money and our technology, which is not true, right? And there is no separation of church and state. Thomas Jefferson was wrong, and they were wrong on a lot of points. Your wives and your children are not your property. God's omniscient and omnipotent. They are blessings in your life for an eternal existence through holy covenants, through infinite glory. You cannot separate church from state. You can't have a state of being that has any meaning and any validity without the understanding of the church. Right? So, and the church, you can sit there and call yourself a label, as you guys say it, but it's not so much a Christian is not a label, it's an understanding. A Muslim is not a label, it's an understanding. It's just a different expression through a different group. Like Muhammad said in the Quran, there are many different languages and many different people, and many just because to let people understand that human beings are not great, that only God is great. And when we reflect faith in the glory of the greatness, then we can do things that reflect that greatness. Right? So you cannot separate church and state. You could separate the brain from your ego. How's that? I don't know. That's a tough one. So brain from the ego. The ego's the portion of you that's considered an ego is not a bad thing. Okay. If you don't get angry, okay, when you're abused, okay, when you're about ready to be eaten, okay, by a pack of wolves, and you get what you feel is angry, and you and you let them know, and they go, "Fuck, this one ain't going down without a fight, and he probably might kill most of us." Okay. Then that anger served you well, right? Okay. So I've done it with pit bulls and dogs all the time. Okay. They tuck tail and they run. Coyotes. Yeah. It doesn't work with human beings. They're stupid. Does not work with special warfare. Does not work with Green Berets. Does not work with combat Carls. Combat controllers. What's the difference? None whatsoever. It's a combat Carl. We're stuck in Sid's room, right? So, but advertising, and this commercial right here with these kids sitting there singing "Kids, Cars for Kids," where you take automobiles, okay, and you donate your car. And then they take the make-believe money and they have kids dress up in pink and black and sing songs for you to give them the money. Okay, not the kids the money, the people. Well, actually, technically, these kids probably did get money for being in that commercial, but that's irrelevant. It's church and state. Okay, in order to have a state of being that can function properly, you need to have a church that is based off faith, based on reality, that functions properly. Okay? So you cannot separate church and state. That's mathematically impossible given the fact that God's omniscient, omnipotent, and life is eternal through natural laws provided by an omniscient, omnipotent, infinite essence, which you cannot know. It's not, okay, where are you going to keep it? In a box? Okay. Like the guy wanting to have a baby on The Life of Brian, right? So why do we discuss this every time? It shouldn't be open up for discussion. Okay? Where are you going to keep God? In a box? And how much money does it cost to keep God? Okay? Then since God doesn't need money, okay, you don't either. Okay? But all the things provided by God, okay, like gravity and photosynthesis and high quality H2O and oxygen and, and the things that require photosynthesis and gravity for H2O and oxygen to eat and drink and live. And so you see what I'm saying? Okay. And then maybe this cute little brown girl making this a Sunbelt conference commercial won't have to be on TV doing things for money. Maybe she can have a house, a home, a family, and a man that loves her so. Yeah. That would be nice. She's cute. I bet she'll have cute kids. My mom going, Grandma, well, the kid's half nigger. I bet you the babies are cute, right? Earl, son of a bitch. Yeah, that was when I was dating Luz Elena Fuentes from Mexico. She was such a cute little girl, And then when she found out that Anthony Gaines, who was one of the cutest little toddlers you ever saw in your life, not Anthony Gaines, Anthony Ward, sorry. Anthony Ward, who was one of the cutest little toddlers you ever saw in your life, was Patrick's cousin. I mean, Patrick's negro, because she thought Patrick's mom was Hispanic. And when she found out that Stephanie was negro, she totally flipped on me. I'm like, holy shit, I thought she was a sane and rational human being because of the way we talked. And you can have you can have conversations where you both speak the same language, what you consider fluently. Okay. And you could talk to these people for 10 years, okay, thinking you totally understand one another. And then you realize, God damn, I really don't understand these people at all. I don't mean to say possessive pronoun damn. I was born in Las Cruces, Mexico. I still have brain damage through my linguistics. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me. Technology, not you assholes. I'm talking to technology. I'm not talking to human beings. Human beings with their ego problems listen like chit. It's like Mao with coffee from, Colombia. Rafael, that is not coffee. This tastes like chit. Here's the real coffee. Don't you think that's chit? It was funny. She was right, though. I thought coffee was the worst stuff in the world when I was a kid. I was raised in a Mormon church. It's like, why do they drink it? It's horrible. And then she gave me some Colombian coffee with different little espressos. And I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is good. I would get addicted to it if it was such. Damn. Okay. I wouldn't. No, I've tried, I like espressos and stuff like that. And when I was on ridiculous shifts because of extortion, exploitation, and night shifts and stuff, for kids that were institutionalized in incarceration. I would drink the stuff to stay awake, and then it was hard to go home and go to sleep and then function with my own kids and stuff like that because stupid is as stupid does, right? So you got these peoples, right? And what I do here, there's nothing desperate about what I'm doing. I'm just I'm psychologically coexisting with people that are psychotic and in a schizophrenic episode and sociopaths, and I'm trying to get them to stop themselves. Okay. It is not outside of the realm of possibility of the people that are trying to handle the president. Now, they might be out of the realm of possibility, but it's not out of the realm. Well, maybe, never mind. Okay. Let's say the president could sit there and say, oh, there's this guy in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Up until now, I was afraid to talk about him publicly because I didn't want my lifestyle to change. But the more I listen to him, the more I want to change my lifestyle. He's the guy who's eternally like Jesus. And Jesus is the spirit of an eternal man and not an omniscient God. And I want to change and be a better person. Because I want Melania to look at me the way she looks at the videos of Earl on YouTube. And I want Barron to look at me the same way. You think that's tangible? Yeah, it's way more tangible than a magic god from the sky coming and killing everybody you don't like and taking you to a magic Disneyland in your brain. That's very tangible. Okay, what about Barack Obama? I think Obama has a bigger ego problem than Trump does. I think Trump is rich and comes from rich people that wants to be cool, wants to be accepted and be cool and hip. And wants the pretty girls to like him because he's Tom Brady and not because he's Donald Trump. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, he's just not a good enough quarterback. He's just not Rick Fox enough for the Rick Fox Club or Michael Jordan enough for the Michael Jordan Club or Anthony Antaclaus. He's just not. He wants to be. He wants to be Tony Romo, but he's not. He wants to be Troy Aikman, but he's not. I'm like, why? They're narcissistic, stupid assholes who couldn't stand up to save children from sexual assault through military units because they got ego problems. And Roger Staubach technically was the same way, but not on as grand of a scale as it is today. And if Roger Staubach can't watch this and go, shit, New Mexico military was insane, and so was Naples, so was Annapolis. Okay, Parsons is right. He's the Messiah. Let's live. He's the eternal spirit of the Lord. Okay. But Roger Staubach can't do that. Terry Bradshaw can't do that. In our sport, it's a goddamn gladiator sport for money, for fuck money. It is to sell food. The food's held hostage by billionaires, and so is the housing. And then they give you drugs to lay back and enjoy the rape. Bobby Knight was trained at West Point. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's clinically insane, just like the people at West Point. Right? So you sit there and you go, what? Free hearing screening. If people have damage from doing things that were excessive and compulsive, it's our duty as individuals and loving people to make sure that they have hearing aids, to make sure that they don't hurt themselves or others so they can hear. And then to stop that kind of hearing damage so they don't need them anymore. It's our duty as human beings to make sure that they have sustainable, beautiful, amazing housing, that they have communities where people care about them and they care about others, where we're not building irrational, excessive, compulsive, superficial. We've got more stadiums and gyms and laboratories and all the rest of that wackadoodle shit that you wackadoodles do to last till the end of time. All we have to do is just maintain them if necessary. If they're not necessary, dismantle them. And don't put up a parking lot. Plant trees. And have a squirrel go from New York to Ohio without having to hit the ground, and then run across Minnesota with Hiawatha. They showed me the little thing, the story of Hiawatha. It's like, now I've seen the movie, and it wasn't that, It's a fairy tale story that they tell. I can't even watch Broken Chain anymore. I can't watch Dark Water and Thunder anymore because the brain activity is just too, when I was a kid, it was just relax and enjoy the movie and have a good time being stupid for everybody else, because it's not time to save children from being indoctrinated and institutionalized into incarceration and stupidity. Now I can't watch a goddamn thing. Oh, God, no. It's like, what? I can't even enjoy watching the Rodriguez kid running around tackling people for Texas Tech. Because he's not doing it, for exercise, because we're living the Lord's Prayer. So it's driving me crazy too. Fuck. He's a good linebacker. He's a very good linebacker. Okay, now if he'd just stand up for the Lord's Prayer with Elon Musk and Barron Trump and Donald Trump, and who was the other one I was talking about? Roger Staubach, Roger the Dodger. What about Terry Bradshaw? I don't know. Terry Bradshaw, yeah. He went to Louisiana Tech with Karl Malone. They probably just want to sell cars. That's a joke. I like Karl Malone. And he had something. Yeah, they all, people get it when you get into archaic sex cultures with money and powerfulness, and I'm the great and powerful Oz of the doobie-da. They all get crazy. Like homosexual women making movies of Judy Garland fame. It's nuts, right? They're crazy. They are. Oh, they know they're crazy. They just need someone intelligent and loving to explain it to them.